Minsan sa buhay, may mga bagay na dumarating na hindi natin inaasahan. And then sometimes iniisip natin, kaya ko ba talaga to? And then one day, it all clicks. It makes sense. In tonight's episode, pag-uusapan natin kung ano ang nilalaman ng puso ko bilang isang ina.
Over your shoulder, huh? Thank you.
Well, umpisa pa lang, talagang crush ko na talaga si Cheese. Dating-dati pa. Alam ko na yung kwento niya, pero ang hindi ko inaasahan, yung mararamdaman ko towards the situation.
Well, in all fairness to Heart, batang-bata pa siya nung time na yun. So yung way of thinking niya and also the environment na hindi naman siya sanay.
But, of course, I met them. I was very shocked. I was very careful because they were only 4 years old.
I have really vague memories about it, but I remember her being unapproachable because I thought she was like up there and we were just normal ganon.
So, ang unang role ko sa buhay ng mga batang ito well, first I introduced myself. I was very careful. Naglaro pa kami ng zombie-zombie.
So when we were younger, like, she would play with us. Like, kunwari, she was a mommy, ganon. Or daddy would be like the monster and she would be saving us from him, ganon. Yeah.
Balot ako ng tissue ng madami. Nag-wrap ako ng mommy. Naloka sila, naiyak sila, natakot talaga sila. Masyado kong kinareer.
You look good, girl. Do you like her makeup? I did that. Oh, nice.
Nice, right?
Pag pinapatulog sila dati, kailangan mo ma-memorize yung tono ng kanta ni Cheese. Kasi si Cheese nagpapatulog. So kakantaan ko sila, natutulog si Chessie, natutulog si Kino, love na love. Yan yung song! So imagine mo ako, ilang taon ako noon, pero isip 16, every night kailangan ko silang patulugin. Chessie was my biggest struggle. And she knows this kasi pareho kaming bata. Eh di mas lalo ako nakakainis kasi ako yung mas matanda pero ako pa yung parang immature. But she was because, siguro dahil babae siya, but I understood her situation kasi nga, syempre, daddy niya yung nandyan and then ako yung girlfriend ng time na yun, ako yung umagaw ng tatay niya, baka ako yung umagaw na attention. So there was always like a little bit of something in between sa amin dalawa.
You have letter ba for Tita Heart? You have to write. There's pen and paper in the room.
Like before I met you, I used to take care of you when you were 4 years old. Can you imagine? So, my God, Chessie was a nightmare. Just kidding. But you admit it.
I admit it.
And she was really a little difficult. Kino has always been, and Chessie knows this, the angel. As in, I could not ask for a better son. Good night. Can you say good night?
Good night.
To them? Gwapo-gwapo. Ah! Si Kino was always so tender. And pag nagigising siya in the middle of the night, napaka-tender na paghawak, Tita Heart, ganyan. Si Jessie, Tita Heart! Ganon. Opposite sila. When I say, isip bata ako, marami lang siguro akong hindi na pagdaanan sa buhay ko na ngayon ko lang naranasan. So, in terms of like, kunwari, yung bata nagwawala, hindi ko alam kung paano ko siya aalagaan, hindi ko alam kung paano ko siya patatahanan. Parang I don't know how. So, parang imbis na itayo ko siya, umiyak din ako. So, pareho ako may umiyak sa mall.
Siyempre, there are times na tatawag siya sa akin. Tumawag si Heart nung time na yun, umiyak na siya, saying na parang she was, dilly-dally about it na kasi nga, hindi siya sanay na ganon.
First, I just have to say na the reason why hindi na ako sobrang parang over and beyond na all over them kasi parang accept ko na I'm always just gonna be Tita Heart, diba? I mean, I'm a stepmom, but I'll always be Tita Heart kasi I can never replace anybody in their lives. Ang only thing na talagang gustong-gusto kong maranasan is to just have a relationship because I had strict parents. So, bawal din talaga ako yung magbo-boyfriend ka na 100% free kayo to travel, free ganyan. So finally, I got to travel with Cheese, pero syempre kasama niya yung mga anak niya. Yun yung first major fight namin kasi finally, wala nang humaharang sa akin ng mga magulang. Pwede na kami mag-holding hands while walking. Kaya lang, syempre may mga pinag-shopping, may mga paper bag. Dalawa yung anak niya, yung isang kamay nandito, yung isang kamay nandito. Asan ang Tita Heart nasa likod? Bit ang mga paper bags. So, nag-away kami sa outlet. Finally, hinolding hands niya ako, so si Chessie sa kabila, si Tita Heart sa kabila, si Kino naglalakad na tapa, dumugo ang nguso. Ako na naman ang bad guy. Paano ba to? But I made sure that I was always there for them. Kahit nahirapan ako, nag-Amerika kami, ako yung nagpapaligo kay Chessie. Pinaka-hate ko gawin talaga. Hirap na hirap ako magsuot ng rubber shoes. Hindi ko talaga ma-shoot yung sapatos na yan. Tapos minsan kala mo nakashoot na, pero yung dila ng hirap na hirap talaga ako. Sure, I try to be like the perfect example of what a stepmom or a tita should be. I never showed them my bad side. I never showed them any of my flaws because I wanted to be perfect, because I knew my situation. But this time, nakita nila talaga the worst side of me. And I feel like because they saw the worst side of me, it could have gone the bad way or the good way, but it still went through the good way. Kumbaga, lalo nila akong minahal at naiintindihan nila kung saan ako nagaling. After that, wala na. Sky's the limit na yung adventures namin.
I am going to make merienda for my dear abobot over here, who's gonna help me to assist me with my cooking. We have Kino, who is nakapangbahay. So I'll tell you when to stop here. Use this slowly lang. So this is just really up to you. Pansha. What's that? Pansha more.
Okay, so basically, for me, dati, hindi naman din ako, ewan ko kung dahil sa family background ko, pero parang yung mommy ko kasi lagi sinasabi, no, huwag ka muna mag-aanak. May ganun siya, si madam. And so I would be afraid to have a child when I was young kasi I was afraid of the responsibilities. And then when I really wanted to have a child, in all fairness, it only took me 2 months. And I was pregnant right away. I had twins. And in fact, nagulat pa ako kasi may lahi kaming kambal. And si Cheese din, meron din silang lahing kambal.
2 weeks before I found out I was pregnant, Heart called me to say that she was pregnant.
Nahiya sabihin sa akin ng kapatid ko na buntis din siya kasi ayaw niya i-steal yung spotlight sa akin, which was so sweet of her.
Me and Heart always planned to have one. If we were gonna have kids, we'd have one each. And we'd raise them not as cousins, but as brother or sister or as, siblings.
So nagulat ako na first try ko after 2 months, kambal agad. But then after 2 months, nakita na agad doon na the other baby was slowly disappearing. So it's called vanishing twin syndrome. So the vanishing twin syndrome is a complicated case because about 50 to 60% ang sabi sa akin, yung matitirang bata will be a very special child. Kasi ganun daw yung usual case. But they didn't tell me that. And at that time, I didn't really care. Basta alagaan ko yung bata. And then when 4 months into the pregnancy, I was getting the ultrasound and there was no heartbeat. I can say that now without crying kasi parang tumibay na yung loob ko. But it was very traumatizing for me. After that dun, I didn't want to have a baby for a long time. I really didn't want. I felt na I was traumatized. I had to carry also the babies technically for mga 2 months kung kinarga. And because of that, kasi ayaw nilang tanggalin sa akin ng puwersahan, they wanted me to pass it out naturally kasi natatakot sila na baka ma-damage nila and I'll have a problem having a baby or might have scar tissue, ganyan. Nabaliw-baliw ako ng konti. I was doing Fashion Week and people thought that I was having a good... I did New York, I did Paris pa nga. And kala nila okay lang ako, pero may dinadala pa akong bata. In fact, there's a dress that I was wearing, a blue dress, and I was wearing a belt. because I was trying to have passed the baby out. I really didn't want to be pregnant after that because parang inisip ko, parang mabait naman ako, bakit ganun?
When she lost the second twin, I kind of felt guilty in a way na ako buntis ba at siya hindi na buntis. Coincidentally, which feeling ko, it was also God's plan na Bella was born December 16 and that was Heart's due date.
So parang imbis na ako magka-baby, nagkaroon ako ng baby through my sister. Para siyang angel din na pinadala sa akin. Parang a substitute for now, anak, eto na muna. So, talagang may dahilan ng lahat.
Yung unang buhat ni Heart sa kanya, mas grabe pa yung iyak niya kesa sa akin. You know, Bella's very lucky she has two moms who, you know, she looks up to Heart. Tingin ko, idol niya si Heart.
My name is Isabella. I am Flawless Out. And my second mommy is Mama Hot. And my first mommy is Mommy Camilla Palka.
Kasi ang kulit-kulit niya, as in ang kulit-kulit, and she's so smart.
I have a machine that I wear every day, and I can translate the bark of the dog, so I know what they're saying.
How can I try to know what they're saying?
But the thing is, it's connected to my brain,
Oh.
so you can't connect it to your brain.
Iba yung ugali nito ay tiknagmana sa lola.
Well, parati niyang sinasabi na surrogate lang daw ako at siya yung nanay talaga ng mga anak ko. I like it. I like sharing, you know, I like sharing my joys with her. I like sharing motherhood with her. And I hope one day, in God's perfect time, that she has her own.
It took time for me to recover. And then when I finally wanted to get pregnant again, I couldn't get pregnant anymore. And then I did the tests. Nalaman ko, there's nothing wrong with me. And in fairness, nothing wrong kay Cheese. Congratulations. But basically, my body, even if I was like in my 30s, parang yung production ng eggs ko, parang na ako nasa late 40s. So, konti na lang yung natitirang egg sa akin. So, naka-harvest kami ng 4 eggs and only 2 were good. Got a surrogate mother and she was pregnant and she was carrying my baby girl. And then after parang not very long, nawala yung baby girl. And then yun medyo masakit kasi parang iniisip ko, boy and girl yun eh. Last girl ko na yun. And then finally, just like a few months ago, we decided to take a chance to try the boy, my last remaining embryo. And nabuo siya, parang meron na siyang heartbeat. And then, after 1 week, yun, hindi rin siya nagano. So that one is very hard for me because parang for me, that's my last try. And nung hinarvest yung eggs ko, nung mga times na yun, ano na to, parang long ago na. So kung konti na lang natitira sa akin ng mga eggs nung time na yun, ano pa kaya ngayon?
I want her to feel that love. I want her to feel, you know, the feeling of being a mother. The feeling of unconditional love for someone. Kaya sinasave ko pa rin lahat ng gamit ko para mapunta sa kanya.
Ngayon, that's why sinasabi ko, blessing yung mga children sa akin kasi biruin mo, ito pala yung mayayari sa akin pero alam na ni Lord, kaya binigyan niya ako ng 2 na alam kong meron akong, hindi ko sinasabing aalagaan nila ako o gusto kong alagaan nila ako o kailangan bilang anak, kailangan mo alagaan yung mga magulang mo. Gusto ko lang meron akong makakwentuhan pag matanda ako, yung masishare ko lang yung mga good experiences ko, yung mga hardships ko, yung mga lessons ko para hindi masasayang. Yung they will learn from my hardships as well. That's all I kind of wanted. And I'm very thankful na kung sino pa yung pinaghirapan ko na parang hindi ko ginusto yung sitwasyon. In fact, I think I've said a lot of bad things during my stupid times. Sila pa pala yung magsasave sa akin. So, I'm just very thankful that they're there. Nung time pa rin, hindi pa ganun kagrabe yung knowledge ko or yung pag-iintindi ko of having, you know, stepkids. But now, they have taught me to be patient. And right now, it's time for badminton. It's good? Really? So what did I say when you were young? You are?
You're the only one allowed to shave my brows.
No one's allowed to touch that. Kapag lumipis yan, you cannot watch a K-pop concert.
Heart also has matured a lot. She's embraced being a mother to both Kino and Chessie, especially with Chessie now na she's, of age na na-appreciate na niya yung nag-aayos na, kumikikay na.
Like this. Look what I'm gonna do. Dito. You have to follow the way this is your shape. Follow it a little bit. You could just put it here. Yeah.
She's really fun to be with, and it's like every time you spend with her, it's really interesting. And parang when you're with her, it's never dull. Yeah, kasi her energy is always like up there.
So I'm so proud of her because sobrang mahiyain yan si Chessie. Pero pag sumayaw yan sa stage, kala mo bumi-Beyonce. Parang hindi mo siya kilala. Parang yung alter ego niya is shining and beaming. And I'm just so happy that she finally found that inner voice and she could really scream and be herself.
This June, I joined the project workshop, and Tita Heart and like my cousin, brother, and friends like came to watch. And I was nervous because like they came to watch me ganon, and I felt a bit pressured. But at the same time, I was happy that they came to support me. She doesn't dance with me, pero minsan she does those little moves.
Like what kind of moves?
Very tita moves.
It's not a tita move. Give me a break. I got it from her. Hindi siya tita move. I refuse to accept the tita. Magkapatid kami. Charot! Yun ang totoo nun. Ako yung panganay. So, wait, a lot of people were wondering, because on social media, how did Bryce become your date?
How am I supposed to answer that?
Ate Ira and Daddy. It's like a Korean movie, ah. Who checked your phone? Me or your dad?
Daddy.
I check your phone too.
Also.
Actually, the only reason why your dad says he checked his phone because I checked it. And I would report. But now, no more na.
When you were younger, how did you decide what you wanted to do in the future?
Well, just like you, I was lost. But just like you, because you're my daughter, I would also paint a lot. I was really an artist first.
During the pandemic siguro, kasi we spent most of the time at home together, and parang, ayun, we were able to spend time, get to know, like, each other. And also, I think after, like, the issues with sila Daddy and Tita Heart, parang that's when we got close.
I feel like meron kaming really bad time ni Cheese na pinagdaanan. And I feel that because I'm younger in the relationship, I had a more rebellious way of dealing with our situation. But I was very surprised with how they handled the situation and how they handled me. In fact, parang ako pa yung parang feeling ko, hindi ako accepted sa bahay. Ang dami kong mga hinanakit, pero sila yung parang accept lang ng accept. Doon talaga, nung naayos, doon talaga nag-iba yung relationship namin. And I feel like because they saw the worst side of me, lalo nila akong minahal.
I'm happy to see Tita Heart there for Daddy because I can see na parang she genuinely cares about him and parang she wants what's best for him.
The last time, birthday nila, finally nag-17 years old na sila. So, it was so touching kasi nakita ko yung mga kaibigan nila, nagsilakihan na rin, and they're just so mature for their age. I could see na talagang sila yung makakasama ko as not just as my kids but as my friends till I'm old and gray.
For making this
helped me a lot to like overcome a lot of things. Yeah.
How she treasures people in her life. Nakaka-touch na, ako nagpalaki dyan. Parang ganun. So, bago ako naging glamour mama, fur mom muna ako. So, current dogs, you have Khaleesi, Maltese, meron tayo si Shootiful, ampun ko din siya. Isa siyang hot dog. You have Cheche, isa siyang construction dog. Casper, Purper, and then you have Pochi, and then you have Panda, the superstar.
My name is Maria Panda Angpauco Escudero. You can call me Princess Panda for short.
Kasama ko siya everywhere I go kasi nalulungkot talaga siya pag iniiwan ko siya dito. In fact, pag bumabiyahe ako, wala yung ginawa kundi mag-abang dun sa may pintuan sa baba.
Pero galing talaga ako sa Nasugbu, Batangas. That's where my mom found me. She saw me and it was love at first sight. So she decided to adopt me agad.
Pero basically, talagang spoiled na spoiled ko si Panda. Hate na hate niya maligo at bilang aspin siya, gusto ko rin maging example siya na hindi porket wala siyang breed, hindi siya dapat inaalagaan. In fact, mas dapat pa siya inaalagaan dahil napakatalino niya.
Pag umiyak ako, tayo mapunta siya.
Come here. I love you. Come here. Talagang archangel ko siya. Yung feeling ko, soulmate ko siya. Panda is turning 10, so hindi ko alam anong gagawin ko. Pero ang sinabi ko lang sa kanya, i-promise niya sa akin na pag dumating yung araw, pag nandun na ako sa kama at matandang-matanda na ako, siya ang susundo sa akin para hindi ako matakot. Sabi naman niya, oo. No problem daw. So si Shooty, ito kasi, nag-shooting ako na I Left My Heart in Sorsogon. Tapos nagulat ako, may hotdog dito. And dumi-dumi niya, biglang makita lang dun sa may villa namin, sa loob ng kama, dun na humihiga. Tapos si Panda, galit to sa aso, pero hinayaan niya. Yun nga lang, siguro madami siyang pinagdaanan kung ano-ano yung kinakain niya, kasama niya yung mga baka, yung mga kambing. Parang amoy something, may something talaga sa hininga. So yun lang talaga yung minus point niya. So si Cheese, yung dad kasi ni Cheese, vet. So, pero nagkonwali daw si Cheese, name allergic siya. Hindi niya akalain na makakapangasawa siya ng hardcore na animal lover. So, wala siyang magagawa dahil meron kaming mga katabi sa kama. Kasi kung meron siyang mga anak, meron din ako mga anak. His and hers kami.
Ang usapan natin ha, walang kagatan, walang iihi sa kung saan-saan. Hoy, makinig ka ha. Hoy, makinig ka. Tingnan niyo ako. Makinig.
Siya umiihi.
Okay, so since you're 4 years old, we've been together. So what are the things that you look forward to?
I look forward to traveling.
Yes.
Exploring new places with you guys.
We've been to Paris.
And making new memories, ganon. And trying new food.
Yes, food. So something that reminds me of my mom is this beautiful bag. This was hers back in the 80s, 90s. It was actually a Lady Diana bag. So I remember I saw Lady Diana wearing this and she gave this to me, but I know it's not your type yet, but I'm gonna still set it aside for you. But what I have inside is something that I keep in here, which is also from my mom. This is a necklace that's a locket. And I got this, I think I was 15. Oh, almost your age. This chain also, if you look closely, it's all small hearts. So she gave this to me, so this one is for you to wear. So that's, oh, you have 2 hearts now. I gave you the other one as well. So there, you have 2 hearts now. And then we could put our pictures inside. But since you said more adventures to come, we're gonna have another adventure and take the photos and put it there. Okay?
Okay.
Your relationship with your friends are going to be more lasting than relationship with all of these others. They will come and go. Have fun, be safe, and you always have your family. At the end of the day, you always have us to go back to. So that's what's important. And I just want to say, if anybody makes Chessy ape, I'm really gonna fight with them. Like, if nobody fought for me, I'm gonna fight for you. Got it? Let's pretend it's your debut. But as your tita, as your second mom, I didn't give you the gift of life, but I am going to be here to share this life with you forever. Na-emotional naman ako because I grew up with you guys, and I'm so happy that we have these moments where, you know, even the bad moments brought us all together, even when I don't think you ever hated me or you just didn't like me or I didn't like you or something like that. But we are where we are today is because of all of that. So I want you to know that you have nothing to fear. All of this, all of what I have, all that I work for and what your dad works for, you know that it will be all for you. Kaya para sa mga moms, sa mga fur moms, kahit hindi pa natin na-perfect ang ating role, it's all right, di ba? It's okay as long as the love is there and we are doing our best. And of course, para sa mga pamilya na nandyan na unique din ang kwento, unique and special, sana meron kayo natutunan sa aming story in this episode. At para sa mga marites, next week, malalaman nyo na kung ano ba talaga ang nangyari sa aming love story ni Cheese. I always believed, you know, that people should really fight for one another, but I don't know what got into me. Parang a dark shadow was casted upon me.
Ang tawag doon, sapi.
At iba ako noon talaga. No one can break my decision. I was out.
Siyempre, hindi maganda, no? Impyerno yun.
Pinapirpa pa niya ako ng papel o kung ano-anong papel.
Kasi nga tingin ko, lilipas, baka mamaya nang
Ma-finalize
sinasapian
ng
ka.
ano.
Hindi, bigla ibenta mo, naknang tinaba, may kumakatok dito, kung siya na yung may-ari. Paano naman yun, di ba?